Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone's having a good week so far. It's been a long time since I posted a video on this channel. I didn't think I'd actually post another video on the channel, but I thought of a story time while I was in the Jehovah's Witnesses, and I wanted to get you guys input on it, see if you experienced anything similar, especially as a Jehovah's Witness sister. So this story time centers around the time that a Jehovah's Witness makeup artist made me look like Annabelle the Doll for my homegirl's wedding. So if you're interested in hearing more, please stay tuned. So before we begin this story time, just a couple of life updates. Life has been lifing. I am turning 40 this year, so I'm looking forward to that. Time really flies, especially since I've left the Jehovah's Witness religion. My kids are growing up. And growing up fast. My two younger ones are going to be old enough to go to school soon. So that's been a change to me. And I've done a lot of reflecting when it comes to my Jehovah's Witness journey. I know I've come a long way. And for a few years, I thought I was kind of fully healed from everything. But when it comes to the Jehovah's Witness journey and healing from the upbringing, or even any other religion, cult, whatever that you may have grown up in and moved away from and had some experiences based on that, you're always healing. Your journey is always changing. So in the past few years, I've really reflected on the sympathy that I have for people, maybe just coming out of Jehovah's Witness religion, or ones that have been out for years, even decades, and they still struggle with some of the things that they experienced while they were Jehovah's Witnesses. So I've learned to have more empathy, learned to not be so stubborn and things like that. So I'm kind of growing in that area. And also, as you guys have noticed, my hair's a little different. I did cut my locks. And after a few months, I'm growing a new set of locks. So I'm wearing braids now. Until my next retwist. But that was another big journey. I had my locks for almost 10 years, and so now I started my second set of locks about 2 or 3 months ago. So that's another new journey for me. So before I begin my story time, I want to discuss a little bit of a background of how Jehovah's Witnesses view things like parties, especially formal parties. Such as where you have to dress up maybe a little bit more than you usually would for like a meeting or a convention. And really the only two major events where Jehovah's Witnesses really, have an opportunity to dress up and show out and have a little fun is at weddings and anniversaries. So things such as proms and school dances, those are really frowned upon. A lot of times in Jehovah's Witness literature, the organization strongly discourages young people from attending things such as school dances and proms. So a lot of people don't have an opportunity to really dress up, look nice, and show up to a nice event, maybe dance with people, those types of fun things, except for weddings and maybe anniversaries. So in the Jehovah's Witness religion, weddings are really a big deal. It's a big event because that's really the only opportunity that you do have to, look great and enjoy, some time with, other young people your age and things like that. So me as a young person, I really enjoyed attending weddings. Anytime a wedding happened, I was really excited because, that was the time that I got to dress up, look great, and dance to some nice music and just have a little fun. Of course, under Jehovah's Witness boundaries, but that was really the only opportunity I had to do that. So whenever a wedding would pop up, I would always be excited about it. And so at this point in the story time, I'm in my early 20s, and I struggled with making friends. If you are interested in watching that video, I'll include that in the description box, but I talk about my journey with friendship while I'm in the Jehovah's Witness religion. But I always struggle with making friends. So when I finally started making some friends in my early 20s, that was a big deal to me. And so at the same time, like 4 of my friends ended up becoming engaged and getting married. So long story short, I ended up attending 4 weddings in 4 months. And so needless to say, I was really excited because I was participating in 3 of those 4 weddings. And I was extremely excited, even though my wallet wasn't so excited, because you guys know the expenses of being a bridesmaid and, you know, those different purchases that you have to make when you're participating in a wedding. So this particular bride, that's, you know, the bride in this story time was actually the first of those 4 weddings. This sister was a friend that I met when I was in my first year of college. I talk about her in that same friendship video, and she was an awesome person. She was beautiful both inside and out, and just really helped me to come out of my shell, because I was a socially awkward person, introduced me to other people, you know, made sure I wasn't by myself on the weekends when I didn't go home. She was just an awesome young lady. And so I was pleasantly surprised when she invited me to be a bridesmaid in her wedding. And I was just really excited about the whole thing. And I knew she was going to make a beautiful bride. And I was just really hyped up. So we live a couple of hours apart. So the wedding was going to be like a 2-hour drive away from where I live. So the day before the wedding, I traveled down there. And we had our whole, you know, with Jehovah's Witness weddings, they are just as eventful as traditional weddings. Even though, you know, we're encouraged to keep a simple eye and things like that, we still, because again, we don't go to a lot of events, it's still a big deal. So everything that you would see in a traditional regular wedding, except for obviously the bachelorette parties, but everything else is there, like the bridal showers, rehearsal dinners, all of that happens. So I had to travel down for the rest of my family the day before, because I was a part of all that since I was the bridesmaid. So the morning of the wedding comes around, and so all of the sisters, so the bridesmaids, my friend's family, especially the women, and all of them are gathered together in the house, and you know, we're helping the bride out, you know, kind of giving her moral support to prepare for a wedding. We're having breakfast, and then the biggest thing, of course, was you know, making sure that we had our makeup put together prior to the wedding. So my friend had her aunt, it was a professional makeup artist. I don't remember if she worked at Sephora or the MAC counter, but she professionally did makeup. So she was going to do everyone's makeup, including the bride. So at first I was a little nervous because I don't do much makeup. I'm clumsy with my own makeup, and the only person that has done my makeup where I felt good about it was my mom. And so sometimes I'd go to the mall counter and, you know, have them experiment on my face with makeup, and I wouldn't like it. But at the end of the day, it was not about me. It was about my friend who was the bride, and it was her day. So I had those kind of nerves in the back of my head, but of course I ignored it because it was my friend's day, not mine. So one of the first things that we did that morning after we ate breakfast was to prepare us for the makeup. We had like a little mini facial thing going on. So, you know, we all had our face mask and things like that to apply, and, you know, do all that fun stuff, you know, so our faces would be prepared for the makeup. And at the same time, everybody wasn't doing their makeup at the same time. She kind of did the makeup in shifts, and there were a lot of sisters there. So she was probably working really hard. So they were, you know, basically being worked on a little at a time. And so I was seeing the results of her work, and those women were looking beautiful. Their makeup was beautiful, bright, vibrant. And at the nerves that I originally had in the back of my mind, I calmed down because I was like, oh, these sisters look so beautiful. Okay, I can't wait to get my makeup done. So I was excited about that. So after I applied my little face mask to prepare for getting my makeup done, I went to the bathroom real quick to rinse my face off and pat my face dry, you know, to get myself ready. And since I was just rinsing my face out, I had the bathroom door open. So as I was finishing up, another older sister came up behind me. And so she was like, "Oh my goodness, your makeup looks so beautiful. You look nice." And I was confused at first, and I'm like, no, sister, my makeup isn't done yet." And so she was surprised because she thought I was already fully made up, but I literally just washed the face mask off my face. So I was really flattered about that, I looked like I was already made up and I didn't have a stitch of makeup on. But around the same time that I was interacting with this sister, my friend's aunt, who was doing the makeup, was just coming around the corner, was passing, and she pretty much heard the whole conversation. She kind of just peeked around, and heard the whole thing, but I didn't think anything of it. So then finally my turn comes to get my makeup done. And so, getting myself ready, I'm excited. And so she sits me down and does my makeup. I don't have a mirror in front of me, so I have no idea what this is going to look like, but I'm confident that it'll look good. So she gets everything done, and I finally look at a mirror, and I am mortified. How do I describe this? Like I said, I look like Annabelle the Doll. I look like an evil bridesmaid that looked like I was the black sheep of the wedding. So she had lined my lips. Now, I love a good lip liner, like a dark lip liner around some lipstick and blend it in. I've always loved that look. But the way it was done on me, I can't even describe it. I wish I had pictures to show from that day. My eye makeup was so dark, it looked like I had a black eye. And the colors of my friend's wedding were very vibrant, very bright. And all the other sisters who had already had their makeup done, their makeup was very vibrant and very bright. But my makeup was dark, and it was just indescribable. And so at first I thought it was just me. And again, I brushed it off because, again, it's not my day. It's my friend's day. It's her special day. So I kind of brushed it off in my mind. But fast forward to when my family saw me and the pictures came out, they were like, "What on earth is going on with your makeup?" So then at that point, I realized something was really off about my makeup. Now, of course, again, like I said, the other sisters who had their makeup done, they looked amazing. My friend, the bride, she looked absolutely radiant. She was one of the most beautiful brides I'd ever seen. She's already a beautiful person inside and out, like I said, but she made a very beautiful bride. So she looked good. She shone like she deserved to on that day. And so the rest of the wedding was pretty good. And so that wasn't the only strange thing that happened. So my friend's family was helping her with a lot of different things. So her aunt was helping with the makeup, and her uncle, who happened to be the husband of this aunt, was the photographer. He was the one taking the different pictures. So he was taking pictures at the wedding, of course, the reception, and also he would take candid photos while we were, getting ready and things like that. They were all generally group photos. So at a certain point, right before we were waiting to get picked up for the wedding, we were waiting for the limo. I was kind of off by myself for just a moment. And he comes up to me and he's like, "Oh, can I take a few pictures of you?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure." So he takes it. He ended up asking me to do 7 or 8 different poses, and I felt like when I was posing, I felt like he was taking pictures like I was a bride or something. He had me looking out the window and all kind of poses. And the crazy thing about those pictures that I never saw them materialize ever again. Like, even after the wedding, when some of the pictures were published and came out, none of those pictures came out. And I also noticed I didn't see any other bridesmaids that had solo pictures, even pictures of them with the bride. I didn't see him pull any of them to take pictures by themselves, and not just maybe even solo pictures, but just multiple poses of pictures. So I was wondering about that. So I left this story time kind of open-ended. I want to see what y'all think. I want your input in the comments with that story. And I also, especially Jehovah, women that were Jehovah's Witnesses or are Jehovah's Witnesses, what has been your experience with things like weddings, maybe other events and things like that. Share some of your experiences in the comments. So I'd love to hear your input up in the comments and what you think of this story time. But it was just something weird that came in my mind as I was thinking the other day, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So that pretty much concludes this story time. If you want to check out the videos that I shared, both on the friendship, so I mentioned the friend that was the bride. I talk about my friendship with her. And also, I talk about my college experience too. I will put those videos in the description box, so you can learn more about that. And also check the description box for some other ex-Jehovah's Witness channels where they talk about their experiences as well. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. Continue living life. Take things one day at a time. And if you are a Jehovah's Witness that has left the religion or what have you, just continue to find ways to heal. Okay? So, hope you guys have an amazing day. Much love.